Travis Kelce getting his deal probably means he's going to be motivated, all in for a 2024 campaign to try and drop a three-peat on the world. And I think the Chiefs have a really good shot of doing this. I think Mahomes is on a mission every single year. Mahomes is special. I think Kelce, while he's potentially dropping off a little bit in talent, the tight end position is unique. We got little Smitty Cam here. Little Smitty's taking a nap, and this show could end at any moment. I just want you to know. This show will be ripped from your kung fu grip at any moment. The moment this Kraken opens this door from her nap. She gets up from a nap, it's either tears and screaming and yelling, or there's some calm, monotone attitude for a little while. So hopefully we get the later. We're talking about Zeke Elliott signing his one-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. This Mickey Mouse running back stable that the Dallas Cowboys are putting together is an absolute joke. And we got Travis Kelce news talking about what's his value in 2024. Is he a top 2 or 3 tight end, top 3 or 4 tight end? Where do you have Travis Kelce? How many games does he play? The Fantasy Football Show emergency breaking news live edition begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Again, at any moment, the little Smitty Cam will let us know that the show's over. Little Smitty's taking a nap, and I have her today, so which is a blessing, but it also does potentially, cripple our show a little bit if something happens and we got to go live. So occasionally, about once or twice a week, I have little Smitty, which is fun. These kids grow up so quick. If anybody has kids, they know that. So it's fantastic. But yeah, that door opens, the show is probably over. Kelce gets his 2-year extension. It's very, very, very solid little amount of money he's getting. He's getting a 2-year, $34.25 million deal that includes $17 million fully guaranteed. This is the most of the next year guaranteed on day 3 of the league year in mid-March. Okay, so what's this mean? First of all, he's thrown up a three-peat. And I think the Chiefs have the best shot, at least in the AFC, of getting into the Super Bowl. Whether they win or not, that's a whole nother story. But I think that they're the lead dog, likely candidates to get into a Super Bowl appearance. But I think the Baltimore Ravens adding Derrick Henry, depending on how Derrick Henry plays. I'm not necessarily saying that no one else can knock him off. I'm not saying Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow or the Buffalo Bills can't be Super Bowl contenders this year, or Super Bowl showing participants. But I think, and even the Pittsburgh Steelers, who the hell knows? Look at all these teams. It's a fantastic crew here. Houston Texans, Cleveland, I don't think under the leadership of Deshaun Watson's really going to make it that far. I was frankly surprised they got into the playoffs, but their defense is so damn good. They've got a lot of good components. Imagine if Cleveland had a quarterback. Cleveland's like one of the better teams in the league that doesn't have a quarterback, and they're pretty scary when you think about it. If you were to just like plant a Justin Fields on the team, and they didn't even go after him, it's absolutely despicable. The Houston Texans clearly going to be a threat. Baltimore, KC, Buffalo are the likely big dogs. We'll see if anybody else can slip in there, but this other side of this fence is pretty damn tough. I mean, you got the Green Bay Packers on the come up. You've got the Detroit Lions making waves. The Rams are always a threat. Niners have this one more year, I believe, and I believe they are the first, maybe second best team. Could be third, depends on the Lions, play this year. I would call the Eagles the number 1 team in the NFC. I would call the Niners the number 2 team in the NFC. I think at the end of the day, it'll be the Niners versus the Eagles potentially facing off against each other to pair up against or to go up against the KC Chief team that I think has a real shot at being the back-to-back-to-back Super Bowl champions, first time it's ever done, first three-peat ever. And then we start having some crazy combos about Patrick Mahomes and where he stands. I don't want to get into that now. I wanted to get into Travis Kelce. I want to get into whether we believe, before little Smitty wakes up from her nap, where's this guy ranking for you in 2024? Is he a fourth-round lock? Is he a smash in round 4? Let's be honest. He had such a bad year in 2023 up until he got into the playoffs and kind of earned our trust back a little bit. We were really writing him off as a potential Eckler downcline type of situation. And look at Eckler. Eckler right now is going in like the 80s, 90s, and 100s in drafts, and no one wants to touch Eckler as even a high-end flex. So I guess my question would be, we kind of felt that way about Kelce at one point during the year, that he wouldn't be anyone's, potentially even anyone's starter. He was playing so bad, and we thought he had dropped off a cliff. He picked things up in the playoffs. They kind of ended the season, obviously, on a good note. And Kelce kind of feels like he might still have 1 year left. Question is, how many games does he play? Does he start missing time? That's kind of the thing that hits a lot of these older players, even when they're playing well, is they start missing games. He's an old man. Ziggy, how old is Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce is 34 years old and was born on October 5th, 1989.
So turns 35 during the season. That is definitely not a spring chicken. I think if you had to pay second round value, you would be running a very big risk. Because you're paying now round 4 value, I think all the risk is kind of baked in. And I feel like at the end of the day, Mahomes in round 5, Kelce in round 4 is probably one of the best value combos in best ball stacking you can find. And it's going to be something that I deploy and have deployed already tons of times. Will continue to deploy. I don't know if the Worthy addition, Xavier Worthy, this rookie wide receiver, this speedy rookie wide receiver, who I think people are expecting a little much of in week 1 because he's got to climb the ranks. This addition could move Mahomes up a little bit. I don't know if it's going to move him into round 4. We'll have to see how the ADP shake out on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. And please click this link and get ready for our drafts. We'll be drafting nearly every night on Underdog. Click that link. I just dropped it in the live chat. Code Smitty will get it done as well. But please hit that link and sign up for Underdog Fantasy using that link, which inserts promo code Smitty. And we'll be drafting constantly. And I don't know if Kelce will move higher than 4. If this contract just makes someone think, oh, he's getting paid more. He's kind of on top of mind now. They're paying him a lot of money. He's got to have time left, right? Crazy old Bob, who doesn't do any research or any preparation at all for his fantasy football season, will be influenced by this big contract. Bob or Steve or unprepared Unger will sit there and go, he must still have time left. He's getting paid $17 million guaranteed. That's how unprepared and uneducated fantasy football players draft. So I imagine there will be some sort of effect on Kelce's ADP by the contract alone, top of mind, in the news, people talking about it. Like, look at me, I'm coming out here to talk about it, so I'm going to influence somebody to draft him that might not. So these kind of things definitely increase the value of players. I would say if he climbs in 3, I might be out because McBride's in 4-5, right? McBride, Kincaid's in 5-6. I'd rather have those guys at cost than Kelce in 3. But if Kelce stays in round 4, again, we're watching little Smitty cam. She's taking a nap outside that door, and I'm the only one here. So she's sitting right there. If she gets up and opens that door, it's over. The show's done. The Kraken's up. That door opens. You're going to hear a growl, a yell, a scream, a cry. This show's over, ladies and gentlemen. Kelce, to me, round 4, steal. And I don't need to stack these. I need to stack Stevens in best ball. These content creators that say you have to stack in order to win. You draft a naked Mahomes without any stack. You can't win your league. That's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my life. I still draft Mahomes no matter what in round 5. But I do love to stack when it makes sense. And a Kelce Mahomes stacking round 4, Kelce round 5, Mahomes, again, will probably be a staple for me the entire offseason for as long as it lasts. And I hope it lasts a long, long, long time. Mahomes climbing into the bottom of 4, I still love. Mahomes at the top of 4, I'm still okay with. There are other players I still love, like AR5 and late 5 or 6. Joe Burrow, 7, 8. There's fantastic values to be had. Love later. I'm not married to one situation, but I want Mahomes in a bunch of leagues this year because they're on a freaking mission. Mahomes has been and will continue to be one of my very best picks of all of 2024, and right now he sits in round 5, and nothing's changed, and I think the worthy addition is going to bring people around a little bit. I just don't know how much. So we'll monitor the Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Link in description. I'll drop the link one more time. You'll want to click this link now and get signed up so you don't miss out on drafting. I don't know what the ADP is going to look like on Underdog a week into the Best Ball Mania, which is coming up. And we're going to max out the Best Ball Mania this year on my watch. So I'll be doing, I believe the max is 150. We'll be doing 150 Best Ball Mania drafts over the course of the next few months. Last year we didn't do a ton of those. We did a lot of the $10 and $5, and I tried to keep them in a reasonable range for everybody to join in. But this year we're putting our pedal to the metal, and we're gonna max out the 150 Underdog Best Ball Mania $25 entry drafts. We'll see when the ADP comes in. I'm going to do a weekly ADP show. We'll monitor the Kelce round 4 ADP like clockwork. We'll monitor the Mahomes ADP like clockwork in round 5 and go from there. Before little Smitty wakes up, let's hit this other news real quickly in case she walks in. Zeke Elliott signs a 1-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. This is just a debacle in Dallas. They don't know what they're doing. They got Rico Dowdle as their other option. I like Deuce Vaughn as an exciting playmaker, but he's never going to be a lead back in the National Football League, so he's not even a consideration here, but he is a fun player to put on the field, and they didn't really utilize him. That's again on Dallas. But Dallas is looking at Rico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott. And we had some people that were in the live chat yesterday, and we constantly do it, say Dowdle to the moon, Dowdle season's here. And it's like they're going to bring in Zeke Elliott, number one. We don't even know which one's going to start, and they're probably going to divide the carries up. Zeke Elliott is cooked between the tackles. He did pretty well receiving in the receiving department last year, but he was not good between the tackles. This is not a 4+ yard per carry running back anymore between the tackles. This is not a guy that's going to have a high likelihood of staying healthy. This is a guy that kind of holds the offense back. And quite honestly, Dallas at this point is not a good bet at all to be a better team than they were last year. And this team exited the playoffs in the first round against the Green Bay Packers. You're looking at the potential falling apart of the Dallas Cowboys. You're looking at a very scary situation for CeeDee Lamb dynasty value, because if Dak and McCarthy are gone, what do you have? The answer is you don't know. That's the problem. I'm not saying it's going to be all bad or that we're guaranteed to get a much lesser CeeDee Lamb, but if Dak is gone alone, we're scared and we don't know. The unknown is literally looking at us in the face. And if Dak is gone and McCarthy's gone, not only do you have the top 5 Dallas Cowboys potent offense, year in and year out, top 5, top 6 Dallas Cowboy potent aerial attack. Not only is that in threat and potentially gone, but Dak and that both gone at the same time, and Dak has not been extended. McCarthy has not been extended. Jerry Jones made it very clear earlier in the offseason he had no interest in extending Dak Prescott or McCarthy, and he wanted to play this season out to see what's what. But then the other day, Jerry Jones did a press conference. You know, the guy, he sounds senile. He sounds absolutely senile at the podium or in a press conference. And Jerry says, what world do you, or what do you say? He said, who in the world would think I'm not working on contract extensions for these guys? You know, in the middle of the night, I'd get up and answer and look at emails and answer questions on this or some form or other. And it's like you just said, who in the world would think that, Jerry? How about all the people you told you're not extending Dak and McCarthy and that you're focused on 1 year at a time at this point? And this is the same Jerry that walked away from a very embarrassing playoff loss against the Green Bay Packers. And as he's being talked to, as he's exiting the premises of the loss, he says, we might need to shake things up. I don't know. I don't even know who's staying. And what do? We think they're going to bring in Derrick Henry. We think that Jerry's going to have a blank check ready for whatever's needed to be done. And I'll be honest with you, I thought he was going to send a blank check right over to Derrick Henry's doorstep. I thought he was going to courier pigeon that thing right to Derrick Henry, or at least Jacobs, or at least Barkley. And I had a strong feeling that Dallas was going to do the right thing. And a couple callers called in and said, Dallas won't spend money. Jerry won't spend money. Jerry's not going to do it. And I thought those callers were crazy. But little did I know, Jerry is in Jerry's world. And Jerry's world is a senile world. And in Jerry's world, Rico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott are the starting running backs. And in Jerry's world, he doesn't have confidence instilled in his quarterback walking into this year. So I'm frightened for Dak to fall apart because he doesn't have a contract. And if Dak does blow up, guess what? He's not going to want to stay because this team didn't want to sign him. Jerry didn't want to sign him. They had no faith in him. Him and McCarthy, at this moment at least, there's no faith being put in these guys. So Dak is either going to sign an extension unexpectedly, right? Because Jerry says it's not going to happen. So Dak signs an extension, right? And then we're safe. Okay? Because CeeDee Lamb probably gets his extension. Dak's extension will open up money. It'll actually save the Cowboys money. And then they can extend CeeDee Lamb. And Parsons will probably be next year. But this is very likely to lead to a Lamb extension if Dak gets one. Wouldn't shock me if Jerry changed directions again and gave Dak an extension. And then we're all kind of safe, and we circle back and we say, okay, good. Everything's good again. We know what we got in CeeDee Lamb. We know what CeeDee Lamb's situation looks like. But as of this moment, it doesn't look very likely. We're just hoping that changes. And if we walk into the season and Dak doesn't get his extension, or he doesn't get it by the deadline of being able to get it, guess what? And he could get it later, but guess what? Dak has a no franchise tag clause in his contract, as well as a no trade clause. And I have a feeling Dak is going to say what Kirk Cousins said to the Minnesota Vikings, who kept doubting Kirk Cousins over and over and over, year in and year out. Even though they kept paying him, they kept looking around. They kept flirting with the idea of different quarterbacks. They tried to trade up and get Anthony Richardson and couldn't, so they went with Kirk Cousins and decided to keep going down that road. If Dak gets the opportunity to go test the free agent market, he's going to go do it. And I think there's a strong shot somebody wines and dines him like the Falcons did Kirk Cousins. And despite how that feels right now for him, I think Dak Prescott's going to get wined and dined into a different location. So again, circling back to Zeke Elliott, this is how this organization has been run. I'm trying to tell you I have no faith in the running game. I have no faith in Zeke Elliott. I have no faith in Rico Dowdle. I doubt he'll even do anything. No pun intended. I doubt he'll be any good. And Zeke Elliott is definitely not going to be any good. They didn't even bring in Frank Gore Jr., who didn't even get drafted. This team didn't draft a single rookie running back. And Frank Gore Jr. was an undrafted free agent. Buffalo brought him in. This has completely been botched. I don't know how somebody didn't step in and say, Jerry, we got to get one of these running backs in the final round. Or, Jerry, let's get Frank Gore Jr. in here and tell him he has a good shot at starting for us, and he'll come sign with us. Not one person was able to get through to Jerry. I don't understand what's going on over there in Dallas. This is an absolute debacle, and Dallas Cowboy fans should be very petrified that their team's about to fall apart. It's on the brink of collapse in Dallas. It all hinges around Dak, and you're not going to replace Dak. You might say Dak doesn't win big games. I call you out on that. And I say Dak doesn't win big games any differently than Lamar doesn't win big games. Dak doesn't win the big game any differently than Josh Allen doesn't win the big game. All these things I think can be rectified. Not everybody can win the big game all the time. Sometimes it takes people a while to win the big game. Sometimes you don't do it right away. Sometimes you're only lucky enough to do it once. And you're still a good quarterback. Who's questioning replacing Josh Allen? I'm not saying Dak's as good as Josh Allen. I'm not saying Dak is as good as Lamar, but no one's questioning replacing Josh Allen. No one's questioning replacing Lamar Jackson, but we're here continuously questioning replacing Dak Prescott, who played like a top 3 quarterback all season, and then when it came time to put everything on his shoulders and drag this team across the finish line, he couldn't do it. He got shut down. If he gets shut down, Lamb gets shut down. And if they got no run game, there's no way for anybody to help Dak out if a defense says, go ahead, let's shut down Dak and see if they can beat us. Then they can't. Then it's all on Dak. You can't. Cowboy fans, you will not find better than Dak on the free agent market. Cowboy fans and Jerry, you will not find better in the rookie market. Unless you get Shedeur Sanders and you're lucky enough to be the number 1 overall pick or you trade up, you're not going to replace Dak Prescott. He's a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback, and that's all anybody can really ask for at the end of the day. What you needed was a running back. Derrick Henry waited by the phone. He waited by the phone. His mother waited by the red rotary phone in her kitchen as she stewed a pot of hot meatloaf stew. And that phone didn't ring once. Derek waited by his phone. Derrick Henry even said that's where he wanted to be. Every commentator known to man on ESPN to every other network said, this is the best marriage we've ever seen. Derrick Henry, Dallas Cowboys, consider it done. Jerry got so mad after that game and walked off the field saying, we need to get something in here. And we all thought Jerry knew finally what time it was. Derrick Henry time. But what does Jerry do? He sets that phone down, takes a nice little nap, and sleeps through free agency while Derrick Henry waits by the phone, and says, I never even got one single call from Dallas. That is the answer. Running back. Support. The answer is not replacing Dak. And if the Dallas Cowboys move away from Dak and don't get a better option, it's going to be the most painful downfall that we've seen in the National Football League for a long time. Phone lines are open. Call into the phone lines, brought to you by The Attic.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
The Attic is formerly known as Grindhouse. The Attic, they changed their name, rebranded it. It's fantastic. Same apparel, same amazing apparel, different amazing logo. The Attic will get you taken care of. Go to theattic.shop. That's their website, theattic.shop, and get yourself some vintage movie tees and hoodies, King Kong versus Godzilla, you name it. Phone lines open. Dial in if anybody would like to discuss anything before little Smitty opens this door. The Kraken's coming in any moment. This show's going to be done. It's a wrap as soon as that door swings open. She doesn't open it gently usually. Depends how out of it she is. If she's wide awake, it will be tears and screaming and crying, and the door will fly open. The underdog sign will probably fly off the door, and your boy's going to have to run out of here. If she opens it slowly, that means she's dazed and confused, and we have a little time before the screaming and yelling happens, and I can end the live stream peacefully. You never know what you're going to get. It's usually a combination or a rotation of sorts. Why did Oakland draft Bowers? Who's Oakland, Isaac? Who's Oakland, bro? Come on, man. It's been a long time since the Raiders were the Oakland Raiders. Like Ron Navy. Bowers, because he's an elite generational talent, and I probably would have done the same thing, Isaac. I would have taken Bowers without a hesitation. They didn't have a luxury of a quarterback. Quarterbacks got snagged right before their pick, bro. So what were they supposed to do? Not take the best player available? I mean, that's Smitty style right there. Best player available. Brock Bowers is arguably the number 1 tight end in the National Football League in a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I would say a year, but without the quarterback, we might have to wait. Minshew could get him the ball enough to make him be top 5 potential by end of year in terms of like what he's starting to look like. Brogan, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
Pretty good, bro. What's up?
I just think the running back situation for the Dallas Cowboys is kind of crazy, like you said. I think it's kind of insane that even though like the running back class until very recently was everyone was telling everybody that it's going to be pretty mid. I think there's still some solid talent out there that, you could have just taken a flyer on. Jones could have been like, yeah, let's get just honestly, any of these guys could have worked because they just had nothing going on in Dallas in terms of a run game. They have nothing. Like the Zeke signing, he just doesn't really move this needle for me. Really, it just does nothing.
Yep, I mean, exactly. I don't know what anybody else is going to expect from this rushing attack. It's going to be garbage. Do they make a trade or something? I don't know. Based on Jerry not signing, and I don't want to hear from one single person. And if anybody said it in the chat, I'm glad I didn't see it. I don't want to hear from one single person that they didn't have money to sign a running back or it was about money. Running backs cost nothing. They cost nothing. Stop it. It's like saying, oh, you can't get a kicker. You can't get a kicker. It's like kickers and running backs are about the same wage. So stop it. Like Eckler was, I'm not saying Eckler was necessarily the answer, but Eckler over Zeke, yeah. And Eckler was pennies on the dollar. So let's stop. You didn't have to go for the top dog of the three, but those running backs still didn't cost much in the grand scheme of things. Even their big number contracts are not really those numbers they can get out of them. It's like, who cares if you're paying a running back $12 or $13 million? That's nothing in the NFL with the salary cap increase. Get out of here with that. Not to mention, you reconstruct Dak's contract with you give him an extension. You open up a boatload of money, and you'll be fine signing both a Barkley, a Henry, or a Jacobs, and CeeDee Lamb. So get out of here with that. But yeah, Brogan, there's just no debate about it. There's not even, the Dallas Cowboy running attack's garbage. It's absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
You don't even know which one to grab.
I mean, at this point, is Jerry Jones going to pull like a Brandon Aubrey and just look at what's going on with like the spring leagues and just bring a guy in there? But I doubt it though, because
no.
I feel like at this point, he's all in. He's all in on being mid. That's for sure.
No, is there like a way they trade for like a Khalil Herbert or something like that? There's certainly a possibility that a player like that gets traded. But guess what? All the players that the Cowboys would likely acquire will be no different. It's not somebody that's going to be a massive addition to the team. It's going to be adding just another Zeke Elliott or another Rico Dowdle. But Rico Dowdle brings to the table like 300 and something rushing yards. We have no idea what he is. I don't care if he looked good on a couple scat back type plays where third down, passing downs, defenses are expecting the team to run the ball or pass the ball, and he rips off a 4.1 yard per carry type of run. Uh-oh. I hear noises. Hurry up. Let me go. Brogan, hold on. Let me go to Colin before the door swings open. Colin, what's up? You're live. Quick.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? How are you, man?
I'm good.
Hey, I've got some dynasty questions. It's kind of a long question. Okay. So I'm doing a redraft in a dynasty league, and you get to keep 4 keepers. So long story short, I can give up a 6-rounder to trade for Jordan Love, who then was a waiver pickup last year, so he is essentially free, like our last round you would give up for that. Or I can give up ETN to acquire Jalen Hurts straight up, and Jalen Hurts would be a 3rd-round keeper. So my question is more, would you rather have Jordan Love for a 6-rounder or Jalen Hurts for a 3rd-rounder?
What is it? One QB?
No, super flex, and I'm keeping Pat Mahomes as my first-round give up.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts?
He's a top 5 pick.
I know. I really like Jordan Love too, but I think you're right.
Yeah, but at what point do you just continue to say, let's get a bargain? Let's go get another bargain. Let's get the better. Let's keep going downstream until we get. What if I could get? You could continue to go. What if I could get Goff for an 18-rounder? Like, who cares? Get Jalen Hurts as a top 5 pick at 3rd-round value. Not to mention, how many keepers are you keeping?
We're keeping 4.
So you're third round is really a seventh rounder? Or are you talking about...
So I'd have to trade for Jalen Hurts, and to acquire him, I would trade ETN straight up because the guy needs a running back and he has 2 other quarterbacks.
And
so
where you keep
Jalen Hurts, I then give up a third rounder.
Where are you keeping ETN if you were to keep him? What round?
ETN would be a 6th rounder.
Which is not bad, but you're still talking about like Jalen Hurts. You're surrendering a 7th rounder essentially, not a 3rd rounder because of all the keepers. Bro, that's the easiest question I've been asked all offseason. You're going to have Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, still have your 1st, 2nd round picks? Smash.
Yeah, and then I'll have Drake London for a 7th round keeper, and Trey McBride was a 19th round pick, so he's essentially free too.
Yeah, nice job, bro.
Awesome, man. I appreciate the help.
Tebow's right. We moved into DEFCON 2 for little Smitty. You're right. I'm going to put that on screen. Because we heard some noises, so I think we're in DEFCON 2. All right, bro. Anything else?
No, that's all, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Good job. That's an amazing trade for you. Later. All right, Brogan. Anything else, bro?
No, not really. I mean, like I said before, like if Jerry Jones isn't signing anybody right now, like if the spring league season goes by and he does not sign Wes Hills or Jacob Sailors, like he's truly lost. I feel like at this point we're gonna have to start putting the blanket on him whenever he's outside on the press conference, and just make sure we don't disturb him or wake him up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I don't know who's running the Dallas Cowboys. Like if he doesn't do anything like that, like there's just nothing going on there,
jokes.
and we might.
Is this?
I don't know what to say at that point.
Is this negative Ethan? He sound like negative Ethan. All right. Yeah. No, bro.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking with your dad jokes. Okay. Well, anyway, bro. Yeah, I would say there's no hope here. Anybody goes near this running back stable to be their starting running back, like 2 or even flex play, you're barking up the wrong tree. Stay away from Dallas Cowboy running back situations. All right, Brogan, later, bro.
Yeah, yep.
Man, I don't know what to tell anybody. The only thing I can say to you is that how can CeeDee Lamb be better than he was last year when he crushed it without a running attack? Don't you guys think that he'll still be good? He'll still be getting thrown to. I'm not saying that he drops out of the top 5 wide receivers. I'm just saying we all should be a little worried. Hit that thumb up button. We got 29 thumbs up and definitely more of you in here than that. So
hit that subscribe button if you're new and wipe your feet at the door.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in to the phone lines brought to you by The Attic. We have very little time. I heard some rustling around. I heard a big thump. I think little Smitty's up and just kicking things over, and she's slowly working her way to standing up. And that door is going to swing open or open slowly. I don't know which version of her we're going to get, but the Kraken is almost here. So if anybody has one last question, you probably have one last question in the cards here. Zeke went to New England for vacation, says Jeff. I feel like the Cowboys think they can do what they did with Pollard with Dowdle. I don't know why they would think that, but I think you're right. I don't know what they're thinking. No, I think Jerry thinks that. I think everyone else is like, whatever. I just don't know how every other decision maker or responsible party or advisor or coach or staffer or trainer or hot dog vendor didn't walk up to Jerry and say, look, I know everyone's saying yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. But at this point, who cares, right? Is anybody going to stand up and say, we have to bring in a starting running back, a starting caliber running back? How did this happen? Damian Pierce, that's an interesting idea. Certainly could see him being moved. We now have moved to DEFCON 1. I think we have. Okay, thank you. Good update. DEFCON 1 is here. We are definitely in the final moments, I believe. How long before Benson takes all of the work from Connor? So that's the video we have at 8 p.m. tonight. 8 p.m. is going to be my rookie rankings. Here's a little dose of the top 5. I'll give my explanations and also my 6 through 12. My number 1 QB PPR Dynasty, Marvin Harrison Jr., followed by Neighbors. This is 1 QB, followed by Odunze, and I'm apprehensive about doing that. But there's just, you got to bank on the talent. These situations are not good for Neighbors and Odunze. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s situation is unbelievable, and there's a tier break for sure. Marvin Harrison Jr. tier break, hard tier break. This is not they're all in the same tier and Marvin Harrison's just Marvin Harrison Jr. tier break. Now, Neighbors could climb into the bottom and never really pass Marvin probably, but he could crawl into the bottom of Marvin's tier next year and pull himself up into the bottom of it if he gets, let's say, Shedeur Sanders, or they trade for a really good quarterback in some weird scenario we haven't thought of yet. Neighbors will get his quarterback eventually, or at least a better quarterback or an upgrade. Odunze, he's kind of in a cloudy mess right now that could clear up a lot next year if Keenan Allen's gone and let's say DJ Moore doesn't look the same, or it just like it unfolds in a different way where Odunze is just sticking out like a sore thumb as the best wide receiver there, or DJ Moore and him could still kind of hurt each other. And even if Caleb's not what I think, even if Caleb's what I think he is, which is not a bust out of the league, but not anywhere near the number one overall player, deserving to be the number one overall player. Like, busting at that ADP or at that draft slot 1.1 to the Chicago Bears is different than busting out of the league, okay? So he's going to be able to feed Odunze. You know, Fields ended up failing and busting on Chicago. Even though they failed him, he still failed there. Like, overall, Fields did not perform. Didn't matter why, right? Part of what I think is going to happen to Caleb is he doesn't get supported in Chicago, and that's going to be partly to blame. It's not all going to be on Caleb, but I do believe the Bears will struggle more than people think, and that's just my take. I'll eat crow. I'll admit I'm wrong if 4 or 5 weeks, not week 1, not week 2, but 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season, we start feeling like this thing is definitely looking good, then I'll admit I'm wrong. I'll admit that I misjudged Caleb because of the odd personality type that he brings to the table. I'll be the first one to admit it. You know, I adjust and adapt very quickly. I will admit my wrong, but I don't know that we're going that direction. Just because there's a lot of perceived talent on this roster, Swift, an old Keenan Allen. Swift's very injury prone. He had his tread ripped off his tires last year by the Eagles running him into the ground. DJ Moore and Odunze are very solid pieces for this offense. I do believe that. Those are two very good wide receivers for Caleb. So Odunze is just in a cloudy situation. I don't know if Odunze or Neighbors, which one climbs up first. Salty, Psycho, there are always people we don't recognize. Says, I'll eat a lot of crow after. We'll see, bro. The question is, will you be here to say I was right if I am right? Or will you vanish? We'll find out. We'll find out. I know I'll be around. I know I'll stay here. I know I will admit when I'm wrong because I do that. But most people, they go running. They go running and they never come back. You guys are crazy if you think we're ever... I don't know what Prime's saying. Okay. Tebow says, man, if I had $1 for every time I saw someone say probably the best prospect ever to come out of college, I'd be a rich man. Not saying MHJ won't be special, though. Well, I mean, the best prospect to ever come out at the wide receiver position, I don't think you can dispute that. It's a matter of, like, will it come true? I think that you are right. We don't know. But, I mean, I think everybody believes he's the best wide receiver prospect to come out in a long time, at least. Calvin Johnson was amazing. I mean, this guy is special, man. And he's got the pedigree, the bloodline. I don't know. It feels amazing. He's so good he didn't even have to do any workouts, bro. When's the last time that has ever happened? That a high-profile positional, offensive skill position player is like, I don't need to go to the combine. And it didn't even feel arrogant. It didn't come off as I know we're all disappointed, but it didn't even come off as like this guy's personality is weird and he's too cocky and arrogant. It was just like, He's like, I'm not going to go to the combine. I'm not going to go do any workouts. I'm just going to start preparing to be the number 1 overall wide receiver. And I'm just going to enter the NFL draft and be the first receiver taken. And everyone's like, makes sense. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Marvin Harrison Jr., we'll see you on the field. Bye. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for letting us know. It didn't even come off as arrogant. It's like he did what he did, and he knew he could do it, and it was the advice he got was fine. He started preparing. He's more prepared for week 1 than any of the receivers because he didn't go out dropping weight, trying to get down to this perfect combination to hit the skill drills right and be at a certain weight. He's got to be heavier, and then he's got his 40 to worry about. He just said, I'm going to start preparing to be an NFL wide receiver. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is far ahead of everybody right now, which is even more scary. And the Cardinals are looking like just an absolute monstrosity in the best of ways for every single person that they're going to try and stand in their way. I mean, Benson's going to get into that. I think someone asked this question earlier. Thoughts on the Steelers' backfield and this draft. I love the offensive line moves. I think the running back situation could be very, very good. I just hope that we can pick the right running back. But dare I say that Najee and Jaylen Warren should be pretty easy to cuff. So in one league, I don't know that I want all my eggs in the basket that has anything to do with Arthur Smith. But I do believe Arthur Smith is only tied to the running attack. I think that Mike Sullivan's in charge of the pass. I don't want a bunch of shares of anything Arthur Smith related. But I do want one share of the Najee and Jaylen Warren running back situation. Hey, Smitty, if Dak is gone, but Pittsburgh's looking good. And if Fields gets in there, it's even better. I think once Fields gets in, it's game on. Hey, Smitty, if Dak is gone, Trey Lance takes over. Does that give you any hope for Lamb? I'll be hopeful, but we can't count on it because Trey's been broken. He's kind of like Fields. He's broken at this current moment. Will he become something special? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that in the case of Trey Lance and Justin Fields, you have to admit they're both broken. And in order for them to excel, they have to be fixable, and we'll find out. Like, for somebody to say Fields will 100% be amazing in Pittsburgh, we don't know that. We don't know if he's fixable. I believe he is. Thank you, Calvin, for that super chat, the $5 hauler. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Somebody asked me a minute ago, what do I think of Benson and how quickly he'll take carries from James Conner? And guys, we only have 40 thumbs up. We got a bunch of you in here, and we only have 40 thumbs up. We got 124 from YouTube, about 70 from Twitter. Can we get the 124 from YouTube to please punch that thumb up button? If there's anything you can help me with, is at least hitting the thumb up button. Try to tell somebody once in a while about the show, and you don't have to tell your direct league mates. You could tell somebody in an elevator that's wearing a football hat or a jersey or a sports cap or whatever, and you just say, "Hey, you ever heard about the Fantasy Football Show? Check it out. YouTube, search the Fantasy Football Show, biatch," and just walk away. I have a feeling you're gonna help bring a lot of people in without even touching your leagues and your pools of friends that you don't want to know about, the secret weapon. But you can still spread the word, and you can definitely hit the thumb up button. That's pretty easy. Benson, I think by week 6 or 7 is the starting running back in Arizona. But that isn't to say that we won't see him take over before week 1. Like, Connor gets banged up, something happens. I mean, it's certainly possible. But what I do know is that Connor was very pedestrian, had an awful year. He just had a very good end of the year. And he brings a lot of momentum into the season, which is great. But I think the fact that he's 29 years old, James Conner. Ziggy, how old is James Conner?
James Conner is 28 years old.
Turns 29.
And was born on May 5th, 1995.
Yeah, so early next month, May 5th, he turns 29. So he enters the year at 29, has a pretty lengthy injury history, and he played awful all year long and just played well at the end. The likelihood of him staying healthy and playing well, because he played pedestrian all the way through like the very last handful of games, last little over a month. The likelihood of him not getting hurt or not playing pedestrian, one of the two is slim to none by week 7, 8, in my opinion. But I'm drafting Trey Benson as my win a league running back 2. And that's why Trey Benson is a Mars man.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
We announced this one earlier. Mars man Trey.
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Mars man Trey. Love this guy. Love this guy. Absolute phenom. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Isaac, for your super chat. Thoughts on the Steelers backfield? Yeah, again, bro, I'm excited about it. I just don't want it in every league. Smitty Benson is projected to be drafted where? We don't know yet. Underdog Fantasy drafts have not opened yet for the Best Ball Mania, but you can bet your bottom dollar we're jumping straight in. I'm going to max out the $150, $25 Best Ball drafts in front of your very eyes. Try and draft a majority of those live, and if not all of them. And so we'll get a good feel of the ADP very soon. If I had to guess, I'd say like he's the backup, bro. I mean, Connor's probably going to get drafted ahead of him, but they could be getting drafted neck and neck. That's certainly possible, but round 6, 7, I don't know. Could Benson go at round 10? Maybe. I might be totally off on where Benson's going to go. I mean, where I want Benson, I'm drafting Benson right at the tail end of the starting running backs. You know what I mean? Like, you can't draft him where you're drafting starters, really, because he's a backup, but he's like the first running back that is kind of in a questionable timeshare. He's the first one I take. Benson to the moon. Benson is my favorite league-winning running back too. Mars man extraordinaire.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man. Loads dropping and spinning.
And somebody said that the best balls that just dropped are the best ball. Best Ball Mania is up. Yeah, best ball. Thank you. Best Ball Mania just dropped. I was checking all morning. It looks like it dropped. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Best Ball Mania, baby. It's here. It's here to stay. Can't wait. Can't wait. We're definitely gonna be smashing the hell out of these drafts. Maybe we'll do them tonight. We'll do a couple Best Ball Mania. $25 entries. We'll be doing those bad boys tonight. So get ready, buckle up. It's coming. Best Ball Mania season, baby. Appreciate all of you. And this is coming at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. we're doing the remainder of this. My rookie rankings, 1 QB, Harrison Jr., Neighbors, Adunze, and Bold Style Benson, baby. Bold Style Benson right here. Smitty's not messing around. Daniels probably you're gonna see, Bowers, probably at 6, and I'm gonna lead the rest of it for the 8 p.m. show. So get ready for the 8 p.m. show. We'll be dropping it live. Yeah, Best Ball Mania. Jump in. Here, if anybody wants to do a Best Ball Mania draft, just hit this link right here. I'm going to drop the link in the live chat. Use code Smitty. The link inserts code Smitty for you. They'll match up to $100 on your first deposit. Just use code Smitty, and Underdog Fantasy will take care of you. And man, we're still in DEFCON 1. I don't know. I heard a big smash. Little Smitty should be ripping that door open any second, but we're just waiting. We're on borrowed time, but we got a lot further into this live stream than I thought we would. We're 48 minutes in, and I thought we had like 10 minutes when I jumped in. I was like, we got 12. She's been asleep for a while too, so I'm gonna get in trouble because she slept way too long, and I'm gonna be told that I kept her asleep too long, probably. She's gonna go to bed at like midnight tonight. Now, Smitty let her sleep for 2 hours. Well. I had a chance to do a live show. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Best Ball Mania is up, baby. Best Ball Mania is up. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Here's the link. Jump in to a draft. I would do one now, but as soon as I join it, I know that door is going to open. It's the only problem. I suppose we could I suppose we could try it. Let me see if I can even, if my system will even recognize my phone, because I might have to restart my computer. Let's see here. Let's go. Yeah, I probably have to restart my computer. I can't even do it anyway. I don't think, at least. Hold on, let me check. Actually, maybe. Yeah, we're in. I think we're in. Okay, guys. Go to Underdog Fantasy app. Link is right here. We're gonna jump into a Best Ball Mania. $25 an entry. Your boy's gonna draft with you right now. Don't click it yet. We'll do it together. That way we can get into the same draft. Here's the link right now. I don't know that I can finish this draft live. We'll get through as much as we can before little Smitty rips that door open. But click the link right now, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. The link's in the description. If you're watching a replay of this video, the link's in the description of the video. You can also use code Smitty. And the link I just dropped. Click the green button now on the BBMV, Best Ball Mania. Drop it, do it. Click it now. I got to unplug to click it. Eight more to start in this draft, so plenty of you can jump into this bad boy. 8 more to start. Here's the link one more time if you want to get in on this $25 draft. Smitty, what are the prizes? Well, the prizes are $1.5 million to first place. That's what the prizes are. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 4 to join. I wonder what pick I'm going to get. I don't know what pick I want. Kind of want Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, I kind of want a pick to get Bijan. I kind of want to pick. I kind of like every draft slot right now. Okay, we're full. We're full. Your boy got the 8 pick. Superfish is in here. All right, draft begins in 42 seconds. Doubting Donnie says Coleman and Leggett press conference goats. Yeah, I mean, Coleman's he's a funny guy. He's a very funny guy. Thank you, Donnie, for the super chat. He's either a stand-up comedian or he's the next Jameis Winston. Which, you know, like just in terms of that oddball behavior, which, hey, Winston could still throw the football. I like Coleman. I'm kind of excited to see what he brings to the table. You know, Andrew. By the way, thank you for your Andrew. You're the one that sent me that Venmo, right, bro? I appreciate you, Andrew. I put a little comment. Did you see my comment that said thank you? I didn't know if you got an alert on the comment, but Andrew to the moon dropping a Venmo
alert. Super
Andrew.
Alert.
Andrew to the moon, bro. Yeah, I kind of like Coleman. I kind of like his personality. It's really funny, man. He's so interesting. Thank you, Andrew. He's so interesting to watch. And he just off the cuff, he continues to just drop dimes everywhere. Little doozies. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. Okay, that short of Eckler lifting that dumbbell while doing pull-ups is crazy. Yeah, it is, John. I got it on my Instagram. Okay, so Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Amon-Ra. I tend to go running back here because, like, as much as I love Puka, as much as I love Garrett, they're not the guy I want here. If I could get Puka or Garrett Wilson next, that's beautiful. I don't think I will. Going Bijan, baby. Bijan at 8 is fantastic. It could be the number 1 running back right there. Very wide receiver heavy in best ball mania, you'll find. The problem is, it's not that it's the best way to draft. It's that everyone thinks it's the best way to draft, so therefore they scoop up all the wide receivers so you get screwed. But we're going to try to be balanced if we can. We won't force it if we don't need to. But I'm not scared to go running back. Other people will be. I'm not. You just got to land your receivers. You got to be the guy that grabs that guy, you know? The player, you need to have the next Puka Nacua. You need to have the players that Drake London, 12. You get him 2 quarterbacks, and he climbs up the board, baby. Goodness gracious. Let's see where the players are ranking. Kyron's there. Barkley's there. JT, Gibbs. Marvin Harrison Jr. just went. Good God, you're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. is going by 14 now. Oh, boy. JT's there. Debo's there. I might try and get wide receiver. I might try. I don't. I really wonder where these ADPs are going to drop. Right now, these ADPs are they're using the old ADP rank, right? So it's kind of forcing people to. Superfish, of course, stole my Kyron. That's right. Barkley's fantastic here. I'm going to go Barkley here. I'm not going to force wide receiver. Superfish and I are the only ones not going wide receiver yet. London at 12. London at 12 is just too high. I can't, as much as I love him, I just can't do it. I could take Marvin Harrison Jr. at 14. I could take him as high as 2.1. But Drake London 12 is really, really high. We started a running back run from the 15 pick straight down. Brandon Ayuk. Barkley is also good because you can run back. Yeah, definitely. What is Josh Jacobs' ADP? Right there, 30. Well, I don't know if that's his ADP, but he just went 22. He's a fantastic pick there. Malik Neighbors. I can't do that with my second round pick. I think the biggest reaches so far were Drake London, even though we love him, at 12. Even Adams is a tiny bit early there at 13. And then I would say the next reach, I mean, Ayuk feels a little high. Debo's a little high, but I understand those selections if you need to get a wide receiver, but they didn't necessarily need to. They both had Chase and JJ. So I do feel like they forced them in their spots just to go position. I'm going to draft a position. Neighbors feels like a reach. Olave at 24 is also high. I don't love that one. You see what I mean? Like the 2 spots is going to go. They'll probably go wide receiver at the 4th round pick too. Some of these guys just literally load up on wide receivers, which can be proven to win, but doesn't mean you're going to win. It doesn't mean all I have to do is land my wide receivers and it's over in this grouping because I'm already dominating them at running back. And if I can compete at wide receiver, which they are going to assume I can't, then I smash the hell out of everybody. But that is going to be my objective, right? I have to land my wide receivers. Nico, we're getting close. DJ Moore's there. Cooper Kupp just went. That was the one player I was going to potentially target. Diggs, I don't know about. Diggs is kind of unique here in the 3rd round. I'm glad he's falling, but DJ Moore just went. Man. You know what? I guess I'm going to try it. I'm going to go Diggs here. I don't love that pick, but I don't hate it either. Just on the off chance this guy does do something, sweet. We'll see. Superfish, I like the Mike Evans pick. I almost went Mike Evans. Both him and Mike Evans and Diggs are both old dogs, so I was tempted. I almost went DK too. I like DK a lot, but I went ahead and went Diggs. We're gonna let it ride. Okay, so 12 spots got Drake, Devontae Adams. They probably go wide receiver with one of these picks, I imagine. We'll see if they go RB. Jalen Hurts. That does suck. I kind of wanted Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I like DK a lot. I think he's definitely being slept on. Tank Dell. I knew they'd probably go wide receiver. Okay, Sam Laporta. Puka gives DK. I don't know if little Smitty's, he might just be down for the night. Zay Flowers, 4th round. That must be negative Ethan in here. Or no, was it? No, Sebastian? Who was it? Sebastian? Who was it that was arguing Zay Flowers? Let's go Kelce. What? You didn't go wide receiver again? I ain't scared. Look at my team. Bijan, Barkley, Diggs, Kelce. Do it live. Part of me wishes I went DK. But, I don't know. Why not take a swing? Rasheed Rice, I wouldn't touch Rasheed Rice in the 4th round. Roma Dunze and redraft, that's not a good pick there. I don't think. I love him. It's a crappy redraft landing spot. If you guys want to be a part of this, here's the link right here. Promo code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $100 by hitting that link. It's in the description. If you're watching the replay of this video, just hit the link in the description that says Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. The link will insert code Smitty for you. Patrick Mahomes went early. That sucks. I was really hoping to get Kelce and Mahomes stacked together. Damn it. That's all right. We'll go late quarterback. Kincaid. I like Kincaid, especially with, like, as much as we love Keon Coleman, Kincaid's in a good spot. He's in a real good spot. Keenan Allen. Yeah, Kincaid's going to the moon, people. Straight up. Still in DEFCON 1. Pacheco. We're coming up on the pick here. Wide receivers. We got Ridley's not a bad option. Kincaid. So this guy's got 3 wide receivers already. But he's not. These guys sometimes will draft nothing but wide receivers. So George Pickens, there you go. They just scoop him up like clockwork over and over. I like Hollywood Brown here a little bit. I like Ridley a little bit, but I'm going to go McLaurin. I think the 85 makes him into a monster. A little baby monster, at least. McLaurin, what was McLaurin's stat line last year? McLaurin's like he's like DJ Moore was, you know, just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for an elite quarterback. McLaurin has had a really, really like underrated 4 straight seasons, you know, without any strong signal caller whatsoever. And, you know, you say to yourself, like, who's capable of dropping 85 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns? You know, that can maybe hang with anybody's receiver they took up in the 2nd or 3rd round, like Evans or DJ Moore or Nico Collins. Like, McLaurin could hang. He's proving that. 4 straight years, 1,000 yards. Last year barely got it done, but that was with horrible quarterback rotational play. I kind of like it. Where do you get ADP underdog fantasy, bro? It's the only way to get it. These are people paying good hard-earned money. Go Ridley here. So I got Bijan, Barkley, Diggs, Kelce, McLaurin, Ridley. Not my favorite team, I'll admit. Didn't fall quite the way I wanted, but that's the nature of these things, right? Doesn't mean I'm not going to continue this process and hit just the right. Because the thing is, like, you exercise this type of draft and you get the right receiver to fall, the right player to fall, the right, you know, Mahomes has been falling and sometimes he doesn't. If Mahomes fell to my McLaurin pick at 56, I would have taken that. And yeah, I would have been thin at wide receiver. But, you know, and Cooper Kupp falls instead of Diggs, then all of a sudden I really like my team a lot more, you know. So we're just a few small minor things away from being a team that I love from this draft slot with this strategy. Let me just check on little Smitty, see if she's good. Passed out. Oh, man. It's been like a 2.5 hour nap. I'm going to be in some trouble. I think I was supposed to keep it around. Crazy part is these QBs have been flying off the board. Which is kind of insane. CJ Stroud is him, but, you know, it's gonna be hard to be a top 3 quarterback without the running, you know. He's gonna have a good year though. Top 5, 6 quarterback for sure. Yeah, McLaurin's finally getting a good quarterback, though. Christian Watson in the 7th round is really early. Took Jordan Love. My team: Bijan, Barkley, Diggs, Kelce, McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Love. Not my favorite team. I still love the approach, just not my favorite team. Burrow went at the end of the 6th round. Unfortunately, I thought maybe I could get him. I left him Mostert, Superfish. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Hit this link so you can be ready for the next draft tonight. We'll be drafting tonight. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. All right, guys. I'm out of here for now. I'll finish this draft with those of you in it. Superfish, appreciate you. Thank you for my super chats. Looks like little Smitty didn't walk in. We're good. But I gotta go wake her up, and I can't ever sleep all night. We'll see y'all later. See you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. tonight. We'll be doing this number unless some breaking news drops. Rookie rankings here, my top 5 so far, and I'll not only go over these, but we'll be doing it live. Looks like I'm on the clock now. Kyler Murray. I'm gonna go back-to-back QBs. I'm gonna bully QB. I'm gonna bully QB with my later quarterbacks. Jordan Love, Kyler, pretty damn good. Like I could pretty much, if somebody drafts like one Josh Allen or one Hurts and they don't have as good of a backup, I could outscore them. With this combination. I don't love my wide receivers, but again, doesn't scare me from trying this strategy over and over and over and get just the right wide receivers. Like just to fall. Like Cooper Kupp and DK. Yeah, I've gotten before and still got Mahomes. It just depends on, it depends on what's up. What do we got here? All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Be back at 8 p.m.